fun for kids can be tough for parents when it comes to costs. Families paying for holiday clubs facing a bill of over £1,000 for 6 weeks care for one child. Someone's totted it up £1,045. Meanwhile, parents who are able to jet off during the summer break are said to be paying upwards of £600 per person for food, drink and entertainment. And that's just for a 9-night holiday. Not to mention, this all comes after the cost of putting food on the table with the current high supermarket prices. So how does a family feed their kids over the summer holidays without spending a bomb and keeping it healthy and nutritious? Vanessa Sturman, plant-based health coach from Energize and Thrive.
Good morning. And I do think for some people it can be hard. This isn't what we're taught in school. We're not taught how to cook or buy healthy food, and there's so much convenience food around us. But convenience doesn't always have to mean unhealthy. You don't have to cook everything from scratch to be healthy. And sometimes it's just understanding a few key ingredients that are a bit cheaper that we can start adding to our meals that will not only make us healthier but save us some money.
For example?
Oh, I'd love to go for this first one with frozen fruit. So, people sometimes say, how do I get more fruit and veg into my diet? And actually only about a third of people are even getting 5 pieces of fruit or veg a day. Frozen fruit, it doesn't go off. That's another problem people have. Well, but I bought something healthy and it went off. It stays in your freezer. You can defrost that fruit in the microwave if you think, I didn't get it out in time to defrost. And you can add that to your oats. You can even put it on top of some toasted nut butter. It's absolutely brilliant.
Okay, good tip. Also, what about the idea of making food fun? And I'm thinking of, packing up a picnic and doing something with the types of snacks that you take that actually diverts possibly from what might be off-putting if it appears too healthy. Are you following?
Yes, I do understand that. When food feels a little bit too healthy, it's not fun. I mean, that's why we have lovely herbs and spices, for example. But if we go to a picnic, what people tend to do is bring lots of crisps and pastry and things like that. And what we love about that sort of thing is the crunch, sometimes a bit of flavour and saltiness. So instead of crisps, I suggest to the kids roasting beans and chickpeas. So that could be edamame beans, which you get from Wagamama's, and Asian restaurants. People really love those, but tend not to cook them at home. But the same with chickpeas. You can just roast them, put some lovely flavours on, put a bit of salt and vinegar on, so you've got something different for the kids. But even if you're thinking about making sandwiches, you could use a little bit of tomato and hummus instead of maybe what you've used before, or a bit of peanut butter and banana instead of just pure butter and bread, if that's what you're using.
To help us as well with the overall cost, as some of those ingredients that you have mentioned may still carry the general feeling that they are only found in certain aisles of relatively expensive high street supermarkets. Help us with the idea that actually this is mainstream and it's not going to cost a fortune to stay healthy.
Yes, very, very important. So when we look at things like our fruits, vegetables, frozen on both parts for fruit and vegetables, our legumes. Now, that is our beans, our lentils, our peas, even our garden peas. So even those peas that you find in the freezer or fresh, that you can actually make something like a guacamole go further. Because, again, people might say, avocado's a bit expensive. You can make guacamole with just maybe one avocado and bulk it out with those cheaper peas that are full of fibre and protein that are going to be really fantastic for helping you keep a healthy weight and lower the risk of disease. So you can bulk foods out with cheaper foods. But making, say, a lentil bolognese, for example, now that's even something you can take with you on the picnic, maybe stuff some into some pita bread. So instead of having it as a meal on the plate, you get some lovely pita bread and stuff that lentil bolognese in, and you've got a lovely sandwich there. Lentils are very cheap. You can buy them dried. You can buy them in tins. They are some of the most cost-effective foods you buy in the supermarket, and they have a long shelf life. So that's something we've got to think about with the cost is, will this also go to waste? Because we waste a huge amount of food because a lot of people either don't know how to use that food or critically don't know how to store it. So something like making those big items, the lentil bologneses, the chickpea curries, the lentil curries, etc., from those ingredients is really cheap. But even something like that bulked out guacamole I was talking about, can be put in the freezer. You add lots of lemon juice to it anyway to stop it going brown, but that will freeze. If you've made too much of something, so much more will freeze than you think.
That's great advice, Vanessa Sturman, who is a health coach, plant-based health coach. And she is from Energize and Thrive Plant-Based. Just some hints and tips